morning.
Good evening. What are you talking? What planet are you on, man?
Well, I think mine publishes in the morning. So good morning, all. How are you?
Very well.
Welcome to the Crucible Podcast, episode 40 flipping 3, buddy. What's shaking?
I know that's right. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, dude. First thing I got to do is this, man. They want it. They got it. Let's pull up some charts and graphs. So
All right, what do we got?
This here's what is potentially a picture of you might see on YouTube somewhere where someone will copy this and use it as a thumbnail, maybe throw some fire, maybe a rocket ship in it. That would make a pretty good thumbnail. But it's got numbers on it, 25.50. That looks like 25. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of numbers. Then we come down here. This is the 24-hour spot gold bid graph. This has a bunch of lines on it. The green one kind of goes up and down. You can see that. And then this other one, this red one, it does the same thing. Like it's up and down. But then there's this other blue one way down here. It says like up here, there's like a chart. It's a Sunday. And that's also going up and down on that chart and graph.
Now, are you being facetious here?
I think so. And I apologize. I
I
truly apologize for that. But we are going to talk about this article from KitGo in a couple minutes. But yeah, I was just being funny, I guess. But how are you?
I thought it was hilarious. Guys, if you don't know what he's talking about, we're just trying to sprinkle in a little bit of graphs and charts so that you guys don't just have to listen
like
to
the Salt Bay guy.
That's right. Like that, right?
But I'll bring them back and probably won't talk about them at all. But they'll be
Bro, your sweatshirt, man. It must be
Check it
chilly
out, bro.
where you are.
Well, let me
Must be
tell you,
really
it's not
cold.
chilly. That's actually my brother's channel doing really well, the Outdoor Conquest. This is
Good
like
dude.
his original stuff. Like he doesn't even have this one, and he's jealous that I have it. So I like to wear it from time to time. But no, it's what's it say on my computer here? It says it's 702, but it doesn't give me temperature. Oh, 72 degrees outside. The
Lucky.
mugginess is gone, dude. Finally, mugginess is gone. But I'm in my basement and it's extra cold down here. So I
That's
throw on a
nice.
sweatshirt. Although depending on how long we record for, these lights do get awfully sticky hot. So
Yeah, it's Hades over here, man. All right, North Carolina.
I see
I
you're
think we
back in the
got.
tank top. I
Dude,
see you're
I
back in the
am.
tank top.
I can't do a shirt. I can't do sleeves if it's over 90. But yeah, outside is heat index over 100. So we're
Yeah, you're
dying.
getting it now. We had it last week. We had that
Yep.
last week. It wasn't fun, but guess what? I'm still here, buddy.
That's right.
Still here.
Guys, stick around to the end. We're going to talk about that giveaway.
Yeah.
But Pauly, what are we here to talk about today?
We're here to talk about what could make the prices of silver and gold just skyrocket, aren't we? Wait.
No, that's everyone else, dude.
No, that's it. That's everybody else. That's
Everybody else on the planet.
You actually had a good idea. Let's talk about, and I know you have some charts and graphs.
I got something.
What potential causes could make said silver and gold crash?
Right.
Go down, plummet. You know, the market shows that, I think, looking at earlier today, silver on a year total, a year to date, is up like 20 to 23% from the beginning of the year. I didn't check gold because I guess forgot to, but I want
probably about the same
numbers. Probably close to the same. But different things happening not only just in this country, but countries around the world can cause our silver and gold prices to go down for many, many different reasons. So I think that's a great topic to bring up, is something to be prepared for when and if it does happen. And completely off the topic, you know, when it comes time to, and it's really not even off topic, when it comes time to selling it, physical, so hard to sell, can be very hard to sell, especially if you've never done it. Where paper market, it's the click of a button, right?
Yep. And case in point, last time we were on the show, I talked about how I had some items up for grabs on my Instagram that were under spot by $1.80, right?
Yep.
That's dirt cheap. Under spot by $1.80. Now those items, that one specific item, which was silver shot, sold. But in total, I've got about all of it ended up selling. But I've got about 30 other items that are sitting up there with not a nibble, not one. A lot. I mean, maybe some posts that are like, oh, hey, that's a great price, but no nibbles. 30 items sitting on there. And I put them on Facebook too. No bites. So to your point, physical can be very difficult to move.
And let me ask you this. Could it be that you're not really posting on your accounts, like daily selling things.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. People get used to their,
Yes,
they become familiar buyers of specific vendors, right?
folks.
And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
right.
not me anymore. Like I don't do weekly sales, I don't do midweek sales or anything like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm kind of off the radar. So if people see it just in passing, they're like, oh, it's just an item, no big deal, unless it's something they're
It's a great
specifically
point to
looking
bring
for.
up because we
Yeah,
talk about social media being an outlet to sell your silver and gold, where you and I have both done it, multiple transaction, hundreds of transactions,
right.
and nothing.
Yeah,
Sold
nothing.
some shot for under spot. That's
Everything else is stagnant. And that's the case in point specifically for a time where spot price is up, right? Spot price is up.
yeah,
People tend to, you know, clutch their wallets a little tighter when it gets a little bit pricier. And it's just the cost of it. Most of the stuff I have is high premium anyways. So,
sure,
I
sure.
mean, I've got a roll of what are they? Hades. These suckers right here. A roll of these Hades BU, $700 for the roll. That's $35 a coin for a premium piece. That's only $5 over spot, 5 or 6 at most.
Eagles
Dirt
are
cheap,
4.
man. Yeah,
Eagles are 4.
yeah. And these are higher premium than Eagles. So
Yeah,
strange,
percent
but
product.
so what we see a lot in the YouTube space is silver to the moon, gold to the moon. It's going to happen. Unobtainium, all these videos
Yeah.
talking about how this stuff is just going to skyrocket and it's going to leave everything else in the dust. And of course, optimistically we buy into that,
Mhm,
right? And then on
mhm.
the other side of it, you have other people that are like, never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Maybe 250 years ago, whatever, when there were no other avenues. But
Yeah.
today it's not going to happen. But you got your gold bugs and your silver bugs that believe it hardcore. So the idea of this show today is the inverse, right? Like
Mhm.
what if we look at all the different factors that can make silver and gold go to the moon theoretically, then let's flip it on its head and let's talk about what could theoretically tank the silver and gold markets,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Are there, I mean, you just knowing what you know, can you think of anything that could
Well,
absolutely crush?
right off the top of my head, I don't know how bad it would crash it, but it would definitely hurt it. Let's say there was some new, um, I don't wanna say events, new ways of mining said silver and gold out of the ground, and all of a sudden there was an overabundance of the stuff,
Boom.
right?
Yep.
Now you're talking supply and demand. The supply is very, very high. The demand is still there. Really, the demand goes up, when the supply is low. People want it. They want it badly. Well, now your supply is up very, very high, and the same amount of people are buying it, but there's just too much of it. And now to sell that price has to come down for that stuff to move, depending on, I guess, what else is going on around the world. If you're
Right.
talking about the whole economy collapsing at that point, what I just said makes no difference. People are gonna buy it or do something else with their cash because at that point, what's your cash worth, right?
Cash is trash. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so your point is absolutely valid. So I think
And that's one
let,
one instance, right?
let's call it technological advancements in
Yeah,
mining, right? So
yeah.
let's say there's some, like you said, some much easier, much more efficient way to pull silver and gold out of the ground. Let's do you
Or just
one
find
better.
a very, very large deposit of it, you know,
Have
as
you
an
seen this one?
as an asteroid hey, nice graph. An asteroid, loaded with 10 quadrillion worth of metals. No, I have not.
All right, so this is a real thing. You can look it up.
Okay.
Um, all right, so here's the mission that NASA's working on, and essentially what this is saying is this has enough precious metals, gold, silver, whatever, to make every single person on Earth a billionaire. But inversely, what that would do is collapse the gold market and destabilize the entire global financial world. What it would do is it would essentially make gold and silver worthless. I mean, of course, it can have its practical applications, but
Yeah,
it'd be about as valuable as plastic because it'd be in abundance, in
in
so much
abundance.
abundance that you don't need it. That's that supply and demand. Do you remember that movie? You ever seen The Incredibles?
The cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the bad guy is talking about making everybody have the super abilities because when everyone's a super, then no one is. And so
Yeah.
this is essentially that. If everybody has $1 billion of gold in their pocket, you know,
So
gold's
what?
worth nothing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
means nothing. And
It's
so
like
that's
it's like having pennies.
absolutely. So that's both sides of that. Exactly what you said. If you overmine it, then it becomes abundant. If you find a source that is way more plentiful than anything else that's ever been touched before,
Mhm.
then again, the value goes down. Um, so with that, you talked or we were mentioning technological advancements. The other
Yeah.
side of it, let's say there was some, I don't know, let's say EPA lets up on mining restrictions on what
Okay.
can and can't be done in mining, and all of a sudden people are like, whatever, go ahead and pollute the waters, pollute the creeks, and all that. You can use mercury, that's fine, no worries. Uh, Again, this is all hypothetical.
Sure.
That would increase the amount of mining, and again, it would also drive up the supply, therefore diminishing demand and lowering cost.
And we could say it's hypothetical because on the opposite side of all these videos of pumping and to this, to that, the things they say have to happen for that to happen,
Right.
right? So nobody's predicting the future. You can predict the past because that's already gone, but you can't predict the future. You can follow it, follow the trends, and maybe make an educated guess, but that's all you're
Mhm.
making, right?
Right. Now, in talking about technology or the advancements of technology, really, like that is one of the sources of consumption for precious metals, right? One of the only sources. So, like
Yes.
for gold, you have jewelry, and aside from jewelry, it's used in electronics. There may
Yeah.
be
Circuit
maybe some
boards.
other, yeah, some other application that maybe we're not thinking of, but silver
Sure.
and gold are
Somebody
typically
let us know.
used. Right. So, in the comments, let us know in the comments what we're missing. But um, let's talk about like technological advancements where you're finding alternative uses for other less valuable metals. Therefore, like in this case, you're using copper instead of silver in
Okay.
solar panels. And all you're doing is you're electroplating a tiny layer of silver on top of the copper to allow it to still function
Yeah.
with the potency of silver, but at a much lower cost. That would be tremendous, right? A tremendous
Yes.
savings. And
Oh,
and
for
that is
sure.
being employed, right? So
It
you
is, and it's happening today in this state. We are building solar farms all over this state, and right now, they are getting plans together, especially one close to me, of building lithium battery plants that are going to store the power that these now we're using solar and wind in this state and a lot of it, but now we have to store that somehow, right? So they have to build these warehouses with big enough battery supplies. And listen, I know absolutely nothing about this, so I have no clue how big or how many of these batteries there are going to be, but obviously enough to store enough power that is generating, because what we're building is great, but they have
Mhm.
nothing to do with it until the time we need it.
And
So the
used,
time we
yeah.
need it, that has to be stored somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. And so, technology doesn't stop. It's going to keep advancing. So they're
Yes.
going to find newer, more efficient, especially cheaper ways to accomplish what they're trying to do. And one of the ways is eliminating the use of precious metals. So there's going to
Right.
be less consumption. Less consumption means more abundance. Again, that
Rather
whole
than
supply
making
and
that
demand.
part out of all silver, all they have to do is laser plate it with a little bit just to do its job,
That's
and there
right.
you go. If it was, I'm just gonna use an easy number, if it was a 1-ounce silver bar to use to make one of these panels, now maybe it's just a tenth of that. So now they
Yep.
can make 10 of these panels out of that 1-ounce silver bar. Mind you, this is just numbers thrown out there. This
Yep.
isn't
For
actual,
simplicity's sake. Yep.
simplicity's sake. So instead of making the 1 and using 1 ounce, now you're making 10 out of 1 ounce.
Yeah. Absolutely right.
Cost just went down.
Right. So talking about that, what drives silver up, right? Let's say right now, silver's being driven up, gold's being driven up, and a lot of people could say it's due to economic
Mhm,
instability, right?
mhm.
Why? Because gold and silver are
Safe
known
haven.
to be a safe haven.
Yep.
So, in a scenario where the economy is absolutely secure,
Mm-hmm.
the dollar's doing well, or whatever the world reserve currency is doing really well, and there's really no need to hedge your investments using a safe haven,
Yeah.
right? If there's no need for that, then again, people dump it, and when it gets dumped, and I'm not talking just people, I'm talking countries dump their
Countries.
holdings.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah,
that's what he means.
and that drives the price down, right? So here we're talking about central banks, right? Spot gold price drops $50 per ounce as China's central bank halts gold reserve building, right? And this is recent. China's been doing 18 straight months of gold purchases, but they seem to have slowed it down or
Slowed it
stopped.
down a little bit. And I'm not gonna give it all away, but our guest coming up next week is a head full of information on this, and I can't wait to touch more on it with him next week too.
Oh, for sure.
But this is right.
For sure, for sure. And that's just it. If all the countries, or if several countries at the same time started to drop all their gold, price tanks, right? And
Yep.
again, we're not in this scenario, we're not necessarily saying everything goes to zero. We're saying what could contribute to helping tank the prices of precious metals, right? As
Mhm.
opposed to taking it to the moon, right?
Right.
So we've got, what do we talk about? Technological advancements, economic stability, regulatory changes like
Regulatory
environmental.
changes. Yep.
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 Supply and demand. And what about our old friend, the crypto,
The
right?
Bitcoin.
Now people look at crypto as a potential safe haven, a new safe haven, right? A way that they can stockpile something, some coin, without having to sit on a physical asset, right? Some people
Yes.
love that. Some people hate it. And I know in the comments, I don't know about on your side, Paulie, but I know roughly every week I get somebody in the comments saying, crypto's the answer, Bitcoin's the way. Don't even look at gold and silver. You got your crypto bugs, right? I
Yeah.
guess that's
Oh, for sure.
right.
And I wish I was one of them back in 2008.
Of course,
But
right?
again, we can't predict the future.
And that's just it. We can't predict the future. In one future, crypto does go to the moon and gold and
Yep.
silver fails.
Yep.
In another future, gold and silver continue where they've been or continue climbing, and crypto fails, right? We don't know
Yep.
what's going to come. But the
No, and
reality
we
is
don't.
any of these things could plausibly happen.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason why they shouldn't or won't happen. It's just a matter of when, where, how, and why, you know?
And I'm sure there's somebody in the comments section, or if you aren't already, go get
Pulled their
into the
car
comments
over.
section. Yeah, pull a car over and let us know what you think could contribute to a downfall of precious metals.
Yes, and we have coming up, and I just want to touch on it. We have coming up, I believe, well, today would be Thursday that we are doing this, is the first presidential debate. And there has been a lot of articles coming out that watch the debate and see what metals do the next day, because I think we talked about the debate is at 9 p.m.
Yep.
Um, and and the Republican candidate is somewhat into the cryptocurrencies.
Mm. He's also into metals too, isn't he?
I He's got a lot of
I
gold stuff.
Yeah, I know he used to pay his rent in gold bars, or he used to accept payment in
Yeah.
rent for his place in gold bars, something like that. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just told somebody today I'd accept a payment. They were kinda bummed out they didn't have any paid time off to take because they wanna take the day off of, after 4th of July, and I
Okay.
said this, "You pay me my day's wage plus $150 or the equivalent in silver and gold, and I will
That's
gift
fair.
you 1 8 or 10-hour paid day off," whatever. I mean, how much is it worth? I worked for it.
That's right. That's
And you're
fair.
still
That's
getting
smart.
paid for it, you're just kind of flipping me a little extra for helping you out, if you're watching.
Giving you the day
Think
off.
about
That's right.
it.
Take his deal, man. Take his deal.
Alright, so let's take a break from that just for a second. I wanna add this to the screen,
Whoa. Hey
and
there.
yeah, look at the graph. Oh, look at her. So this just says, and this was actually published today. So today being Wednesday, right? Today the 25th? No, today's the 26th. This was published Tuesday. Gold and silver prices struggling to find any kind of momentum. And that's kind of true. You know, you got silver hovering around $29, $30 going back and forth. And it says analysts have said, and this is coming from Kitco by Neil Christensen. Analysts have said that they expect gold and silver to remain range bound as traders will be hesitant to take any significant positions ahead of Friday's personal consumption expenditures, the PEC index. In line with the overnight price action, precious metals are starting the North American trading sessions relatively subdued. August gold futures last traded 2,000. August gold futures traded last $2,339.10 an ounce, down 0.22% on the day. Meanwhile, silver futures last traded $29.61 an ounce, up 0.29 for the day. So basically, what this article is talking about is metals even don't know what to do. People aren't buying, but people also aren't really selling, and they're just kind of left stagnant. So anything major that could happen, whether it be the news, whether it be another war breaks out, whether it be a dam bursts or a ship runs into something here in the country, could affect the price of this silver and gold, whether it's going to be going up or whether it's going to be going down. Let's bring this back up like this. But Kitco is a very good place to find a lot of those charts and graphs if anybody's interested in seeing any more of them. But that's just it. It's just been stagnant since we busted over $30, $31. It really hasn't done much. And what did people do? Did they hold their cash at that point? Did they buy less metals? Well, what is happening? And I would love to get somebody on here who just strictly is against physical and just gets into the paper market. I would love to have somebody on here that just simply does that, because I would love to hear about it and what they actually do day to day.
Yeah. And, we've talked about it before, the whole, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. That's very true. But on the same note, when you hold it, it's really tough to stop holding it. Like I have a big chunk of silver that I want to not be holding anymore, and I can't. Like no one's buying it unless I want to take a major haircut, take it into a coin shop or sell it to a dealer at a huge discount. It's going to burn me if I do that. If you're holding paper, it doesn't do that.
That's right. That's right. Something just popped in my head and it popped right back out. Something we were talking about today, and I forget.
You're going to remember as soon as we hit the record off button.
No, because you're going to bring up the next thing and I'm going to remember right now.
Oh, the next thing I'm going to talk about this giveaway here. We got this 5-ounce beauty, 3 ways to win. You can find them in the description section below. Defer back to you, Pauly. Right. What you got?
Okay, so what you said was, because I knew it was in a text message, it doesn't matter what the spot price is. It doesn't matter what you own. All that matters is what the person you are trying to sell it to is willing to give you for it. Yep. Now let's break that right down and let's get right into prepping. Okay.
That's my forte.
It is the point where the world is chaos. You're the prepper. You've got sacks and sacks of dimes, Roosevelts, Mercuries you've been saving just for this reason. Come to daddy. I got this loaf of bread. How much is it worth to you?
How many dimes?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean,
well,
now that loaf of bread is something you want. Do I want your dimes?
I don't want your dimes.
Yeah, how many do you got?
I want a chicken. I want a, like 3 zucchinis. Give me something.
I give you my last loaf of bread for some dimes. What the hell am I going to do with those dimes?
Dimes may come into play down the road when there's a little bit more organization and the barter system is a little bit more established.
There you go.
But in the early phases, dimes ain't going to do nothing, man. Give me some bullets. I'll trade you for some bullets. Easy.
Yeah. I don't even know if I could trade for that, because now I give you some of my ammo.
I
can't get it no more.
Now you're going to stick me up for my next loaf of bread. That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, that would in a prepper scenario, that would play itself out. You would find out real quickly that those dimes that you've been hanging on to, I mean, they are good for prepping. They are fractional. They're recognized. People know it's silver. But if it's a life or death situation, silver's not gonna. I can't eat it. Silver's not gonna feed my family. I'm gonna want something that I could use. You got a gallon of milk? I'll trade you a gallon of milk for my loaf of bread. Keep your dimes.
There you go. Now what am I going to dip my milk in, my bread in? I ain't got no milk.
Dip my bread in silver coins.
I got to go see the goat.
Good stuff.
So yeah, definitely, dude. Good chat.
We'll do a prepping video.
I think so. I think it's overdue. Fun. I think that
the reality of prepping with precious metals.
I don't even know how we could do that. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it.
We'll figure it out. All right. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know if we placed enough charts and graphs. Husky. See you on the next one, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Later on.